Hey everybody, it's Wayne back at you with an options premium update. Excited to share with all of you that I have officially crossed over $250,000 in net premium. So in today's video, we're breaking down what strategy I am implementing when it comes to options trading, what stock tickers have been the most successful for me, and what are the goals that I have moving forward. Let's first give you insight into the portfolio, and size certainly does matter if you're selling puts. Right now within my Robinhood brokerage, I am just over 424,000. If we break that 424K down, I'm holding around 330K worth of stock positions, and individual cash is just over 93,000. One other thing that I want to point out, nothing against those who may be using margin, but I, for the most part, have been able to steer clear of ever having to use margin when it comes to options trading. In fact, since I've been selling options since 2022, I've only had to pay margin interest a total of 3 times. And you can see right here within your screen, if we were to add up these 3 entries, I mean, it's literally less than $6.50. And so I utilize buying power, but I try to avoid paying margin interest. So it's really important to know the difference between that. All right, let's take a look here at my options spreadsheet. And year-to-date premium currently sits at just over 78,000. That puts my weekly average of over $1,700 every single week. And right now I am on track to make $92,000 for the year 2025. Now last year I made $84,000. Initially the goal that I had for this year was to make $52,000. We reached that right around week 27 of this year. So the newly revised goal for 2025 is to make $88,000. I actually think I'll come pretty close to that 88, maybe 89. So even though it says I am on track to make 92, one thing that I want to point out, a distinct difference between this time last year and today was we had the election, we had the high volatility in November and December of last year. And so I made a lot of premium going into, late December. I don't think we'll see that type of volatility, but you never know. So right now, lifetime premium is $253,000. So when did I begin my options journey? I've talked about this in previous videos. It dates back to 2022. And I talked about finding Brad Finn's YouTube content and how his videos really offered a perspective that I never even knew when it comes to, trading and investing and things like that. So let's go back here and I'll show you how long it took me to reach over 250,000 in premium. And we're right around 1,314 days. I actually calculated from the first contract that I wrote, March 29th of 2022. This is the date of today's video. And so that's right around 3 years and 7 months, or right around, 187 weeks. So not bad, but, I certainly wouldn't want to give the impression that I've made $250,000 in just under a year. So what's the strategy that I have when it comes to selling options? It's going to be cash secured puts. Take a look here at the number of total contracts that I've written this past year. 546 cash secured puts versus 93 covered call contracts. For me, as I've been selling options since 2022, I have come to realize that for me, I have been more profitable and I have a better understanding of selling cash secured puts. But I will admit the size of your brokerage certainly matters. All right, let's go ahead and break down the top 3 stock tickers in which I have been able to generate the most premium. And number 3 goes out to Reddit. In the last calendar year, I have sold a total of 39 contracts that I've made just over $7,200. The number 2 stock position in which I've made the most premium goes out to Coinbase. And you can see in the last calendar year, I've sold a total of 33 cash secured put contracts against Coinbase, making just over $8,100. And the number 1 stock ticker in which I have made the most premium in 2025 is going to be stock ticker MSTR, which is Strategies Incorporated. This by far is the most volatile stock ticker that I have been selling puts against. You can see just in the last couple of months, I've had to aggressively manage the few contracts that remain open, and that's probably the most important thing that I've learned in this options journey is how to properly roll down and roll out a cash secured put. So I got to be careful because the stock price of Master continues to go down, and so with that, I've had to aggressively roll my positions. But with that being said, I've still been able to bring in a pretty significant amount of premium. Year-to-date total, just over 78,000, on track to hopefully reach the goal of 88,000. And how crazy is it? Over 250K. Now, what am I doing with that cash flow? It's a real boring story. I'm using it to either reinvest in my other M1 brokerage. I am using it to pay for living expenses, including my daughter's college tuition, but otherwise, for the most part, I'm just stacking cash and putting the money away in a high yield savings account. So that's the exciting thing about selling options is you can use that cash flow for a variety of things. Hey, I want to thank everybody for stopping in, watching this video. I'd love to hear from you in the comments if you've got any questions. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.